Voting is a civic duty. Let's register on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe Television.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. First, our major stories. A trader at the Mbopi market in Douala is fighting for his life after being stabbed by a group of individuals early this morning. The incident sparked a riot among the traders who expressed outrage over rising insecurity in the market despite the presence of 2 security units in that part of the country. And also, we'll talk something else. We'll tell you how the Minister Magdalene Trente of Scientific Research and Innovation condemns the brutal killing of 2 lecturers and researchers and also a guide that was in Sulede in the Fanda region of Cameroon. The recent brutal killings of the 2 researchers and a tourist guide in that Cameroon's Fanda region has sparked widespread shock and outrage, particularly among the country's elite class. Minister Magdalene Trente of Innovation has publicly condemned the killings, describing them as barbaric and unacceptable. Those are top stories. Stay with us for greater details. Thank you so much for always choosing Equinoxe Television. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. A trader at the Mbopi market is battling for his life in a clinic right here in the city of Douala after he was stabbed early this morning by a group of individuals. This provoked a riot among traders who were denouncing the rising insecurity in the market despite the presence of 2 security posts in that market. We have greater details with Innocent Ase.
Traders at the Mbopi markets Douala in riot Monday morning, barricading the roads, perturbing circulation. They went furious when their colleague was aggressed at Block 6 and inflicted injuries with a broken bottle by a group of individuals led by 2 men who call themselves les jumeaux in a routine to deprive him of his money and other valuable items.
C'est des gens qui sont organisés en bande et qui pillent, qui agressent, qui brutalisent.
We are suffering from the hands of these gangsters who operate in broad daylight.
Donc nous sommes vraiment en insécurité.
A phenomenon which is normalizing itself in the commercial hub.
Mercredi passé,
last Wednesday, a lady, operator of a mobile money transfer kiosk, was aggressed with all her money and phones taken. They majestically walked out of the market unstopped, carrying knives.
des bons ensemble avec leurs couteaux en main, ils sont dirigés dans leur quartier.
These traders fume as the fact that these repeated aggressions happen despite the presence of a gendarmerie and 2 police posts in the market. Also because some of the aggressors were known, get arrested and later freed.
Il y a jusqu'à 2 postes de police. Il y a une gendarmerie en face.
We don't know what their job is. We only have our eyes to cry. At times, they arrest some hoodlums, but we don't know how they get out again.
On ne sait pas par quel moyen ils se retrouvent à l'extérieur.
Calm gradually returns when the divisional officer of Douala 1 and other officials arrived at the scene. He assured the Mbopi traders solutions will be found to their noted worries. He went further to demand them to reopen their shops locked after the incident, but the panic-stricken traders denied. I can't assure you if I will reopen my shop or not because the rate of panic within me cannot be measured. I am just afraid the criminals might return.
Subir la même chose que notre collègue vient de subir.
Nous sommes dans l'insécurité totale.
We are in total insecurity and cannot risk our millions invested in business to thieves. Last month, we reported to the gendarmerie, but no actions were taken for our protection.
Nous sommes à la vindicte populaire des bandits ici au marché Mbopi.
With this recent aggression at the Mbopi market, one of the largest business centers in Central Africa, the traders hope concrete and lasting actions will be put in place to end these frequent broad daylight aggressions on traders.
Now to our major lead story. Cameroon's Minister of Scientific Research and Innovation, Magdalene Trente, has expressed shock and dismay over this brutal killing of 2 researchers and their guide in Soulé-de-Roi. She questions why Cameroonians have become so barbaric, also highlighting the alarming trend of women that are being killed by their own spouses in the country. Annabella tells us more.
The killing of 2 researchers in Soulé-de-Roi in the Mayotanaga division is still causing shock waves among Cameroonians, especially the elitist class. The Minister of Research and Scientific Innovation, Madeleine Trente, is surprised by the level of barbarism in Cameroon. Shedding blood seems to be the new normal across the country. As she addresses her collaborators on the 8th of March, Madeleine Trente asked what the 2 young researchers did to merit such cruelty. The minister indicts those from the northern regions on such behaviors. According to her, the northerners are considerably treated at the level of her ministry. She as well worries over the constant femicides in Cameroon. Women, girls and even babies are brutally killed in the country to what can be described as the indifference of all and sundry. Minister Madeleine Trente is terrified after 2 researchers, Dr. Bello, Dr. Frederic Munsi and their guide on an academic research mission in Soulé-de-Roi were burnt alive by locals who claimed they were mistaken for Boko Haram terrorists. Even as the researchers cried, pleaded, explained to the public that they were PhD students on research, the authors gave deaf ears. The tragic incident is still to settle with most Cameroonians, as investigations have been opened to determine whether or not it was a premeditated action.
Getting a view of a lecturer concerning the same incident in the second part of this newscast. Before getting there, the Cameroonian government is striving to prevent further disasters like floods in the Logon and Shari division of the far north region of Cameroon. It is in line with this that the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Judges Elanga Obam, during a visit to the victims of the recent floods in the division, and however, victims, most of whom are homeless, hope for substantial solution. Asa Lucilengu has more.
Residents of the Logon and Shari division of the far north region continue to endure hardships as a result of the devastating floods which have left hundreds of families homeless and compelled many to abandon their residence. During the floods, our people truly suffered. In the locality of Darak, there are also individuals who are stranded, many of whom fled from Boko Haram attacks. In response to this crisis, the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, dispatched a team headed by the Minister of Decentralization, Judges Elanga Obam, who visited the region from March 4 to 7, 2025.
People lost everything and they are not in the capacity of taking care of their relatives in this period. We have had a lot of problems here. All of us know the problem. And we've started finding solutions. But it was in the mind of the head of state that the population of the Logon and Shari were kind of neglected. That's why the Minister of State, Secretary General and the Presidency came here and then went back to the President with a lot of problems that people were expressing.
During a meeting at the Kusere Council Hall, the minister handed over presidential aid to flood victims before traveling to Logon, Benin to assess the damage. He also inspected the dikes along the Logon River to prevent further disasters.
We are going also on the field here to propose solutions to the government so that when the government is going to come to solve the real problems that are to come, we will have the contribution of the population here. I want to thank the administrative authorities for what they are doing to make sure that the calm is still reigning here. I want to appreciate what the traditional authorities are doing and what the regional and local authorities are doing.
While this support offers some immediate relief, the local population hope for more substantial solutions, particularly in infrastructure, to contain the natural disasters.
Now we move to the complete southwest region, where the partially constructed Mamfe District Hospital, which was burnt down in 2022, has brought a sense of hope to the local population, who are expressing contentment with the progress made so far. However, despite this optimism, the hospital still faces significant challenges, including lack of essential equipment and electricity. Mala Glory reports.
Years after Amin set the Mamfe District Hospital ablaze, forcing residents to seek medical care in neighboring towns of Kumba, Bamenda and Douala, health services have finally resumed in the facility, though construction remains incomplete.
What is wrong, Mama?
Was it last week she was having fever?
Okay, last week she was having fever.
Yeah, so I took her to run like that.
Okay.
A section of the hospital has been rehabilitated, offering a much-needed relief to the population. Many have expressed satisfaction with the partial reopening, as it spares them the burden of long and costly journeys to access health care.
Me, I did from Nigeria all this. How many years ago I did Nigeria?
Okay.
So I just come for visit. I asked my sister. I say I know well. He said I come for General Hospital.
However, despite the progress, significant challenges persist. The hospital is currently operating with limited number of beds and medical equipment, making it difficult to adequately serve the growing number of patients.
Despite the challenges that we have with power supply, but as you can see, we have started, and our greatest challenge is space to admit patients, because the turnover has increased in these few days.
Hospital Director Dr. Akin Ken George pleads with the Minister of Public Health to intervene and ensure the hospital's full completion and proper equipment for better health care delivery to the people of Mamfe in the southwest region.
Now to something else. The Cameroonian Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Motaze, says infrastructural development and maintenance is one of the top priorities of his ministry, which aims to ensure that public services are delivered efficiently and effectively. The minister says he is determined to eradicate the negative effects of dilapidated, worn-out structures on public service delivery. Minister Louis-Paul Motaze was speaking in Douala while inaugurating the new General Treasury building. Fomi Armstrong Sander tells us more.
For over the years, dilapidated faces like this have been a major characteristic of public structures in Cameroon, a reality which has had a far-reaching impact on performances and the local population, one of the major effects being the high rates of project failures which hinders the development of the country. Besides this, worn-out structures also hinder the efficiency of public service delivery. Furthermore, the lack of maintenance also leads to safety risk, among other challenges which the government of Cameroon, particularly the Ministry of Finance, says it is determined to fix.
Les chantiers suivants sont en cours de réalisation sur toute l'étendue du territoire.
A vision presented by Cameroon's Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Motaze, while inaugurating the newly constructed General Treasury building in the city of Douala.
Cet immeuble que nous inaugurons ce jour,
being one on the list of structures of this ministry currently under construction across Cameroon, officials of this ministerial department said service delivery will henceforth be efficient.
With the old building, our services were disseminated in the city. So now all those services are gathered in the same building so that we can easily coordinate them, and so normally results are going to follow.
Constructed on a surface area of 120 meters squares, the 5-story building comprises 58 offices, 44 toilets, 2 staircases and a lift. The building, according to official sources, cost the sum of over 764 million francs CFA from the state coffers of Cameroon.
In the same vein, Cameroon's Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Motaze, has shed light on the far-reaching consequences of administrative corruption and infrastructural development in the country. During a recent meeting in Douala, Louis-Paul Motaze revealed that corruption and bureaucratic bottlenecks are major obstacles to the execution of projects. This revelation came in response to a request from the city mayor of Douala, who sought increased investments from the Ministry of Finance. Femi Armstrong Sanda once more tells us more.
It was in a hard and firm tone that Louis-Paul Motaze responded to the mayor of the city of Douala's call for him and his ministry to invest more in the economic capital city. In all eloquence, Louis-Paul Motaze told Roger Mbassadine that a lack of collaboration on the part of the city officials has hindered the execution of important investment projects from his ministry in Douala.
Actuellement freiné. Monsieur le maire Roger Mbassa, je souhaiterais que vous me suiviez bien. Alors,
he specifically mentioned two of these projects facing these challenges, one being the construction of a custom city on a 2 hectares plot in the New Bend neighborhood of the Douala 2 municipality assigned to the General Directorate of Customs in 2015. The minister says the project has been stalled due to various intrusions, including the sale of parts of the land to local residents and the establishment of a poultry market on the site by the council.
Alors que le marché lancé a commencé à être exécuté.
While the projects began being executed, various intrusions did not allow it to continue. Parts of the land were sold to a resident, a poultry market set up there, and a secondary track emerging, which is being used by local residents. Finally, a project to resettle traders from the Congo market is ongoing there, according to what I have been told.
The second project, according to the minister, is the Mutuelle des Inspecteurs et Officiers de Douanes inability to utilize a plot of land worth 8,859 meter squares in the Bonamoussadi neighborhood of the Douala 5 municipality acquired in 1998. Despite holding a certificate of allocation and a land title, the land was allegedly attempted to be sold to a third party, contrary to a 2021 Supreme Court ruling.
La Mutuelle des Inspecteurs et Officiers de Douane,
acquired in complete legality from Maitu since 1998, the Mutuelle des Inspecteurs et Officiers de Douane is unable to enjoy a plot of land of 8,859 meters square in Bonamoussadi, a plot of land for which the Mutuelle holds a certificate of allocation issued by Maitu in 2000 and a land title finally issued in May 2024. It will be necessary to take note of the attempts to sell this land to a third party, despite a ruling by the Administrative Chamber of the Supreme Court dated December 1, 2021.
Louis-Paul Motaze's speech highlighted the importance of addressing these challenges to facilitate the investment and economic growth of the city of Douala.
Now we take you out of Cameroon, where Gabon's presidential election is just around the corner, scheduled for April 12. The country's Minister of Interior has released a list of 4 candidates who have secured their spot in the election. Brice Oligui Nguema, the current president of the military junta, is among them. Meanwhile, in Côte d'Ivoire, 15 opposition parties have joined forces to influence the electoral process. This development could potentially impact the outcome of future elections in the country. A run of the stories with Siri Chakutio.
Gabon's interim president Brice Oligui Nguema is to face 3 challengers in presidential polls due to take place on the 12th of April 2025. The official list was published by the Interior Minister on Sunday. 19 others were rejected, but they were given 72 hours in which to lodge an appeal with the Constitutional Court. Nguema seized power in 2023 military coup that ended the long-standing rule of his predecessor Ali Bongo and his family. There has been much speculations about whether Nguema would seek to remain in power after a new constitution published last year did not bear him for standing. His main challenger is seen by Alain-Claude Billy Baizé, Ali Bongo's last prime minister. Nguema will also face Dr. Stéphane Diarma, a former executive of the Gabonese Democratic Party, which dominated politics from 1961 to 2023. The final candidate is Joseph Lampanse Isengon, a lawyer and tax inspector. All four are running as independents with campaigning scheduled to begin on the 25th of March 2025. And in Côte d'Ivoire, 15 opposition parties are launching a coalition on Monday, March 10th for the presidential election of October 25th, 2025. The political parties that make it up include the PDCI, the Movement of Capable Generation of the former First Lady Simone Yvette Gbagbo, and the COGEP of Charles Blé Goudé, a coalition called Coalition for a Peaceful Alternation, CAP Côte d'Ivoire, without Laurent Gbagbo's PPACI. This new platform wants to influence the electoral process. Among its main demands are the revision of the electoral list before the presidential election, the publication of the results polling station by polling station, and the audit of the electoral lists.
Now to our sports page. Colombo of the Jar and Lobo have emerged as the honorary champions of the first phase of the League One Championship, which concluded over the weekend. However, the first phase was tainted by off-field controversies, with some clubs threatening to boycott the second phase unless their grievances are addressed. Our reporter Smaji Kangebel provides more insight into the situation.
With clubs of the Elite 1 and 2 set to go on recess after the first phase of Elite 1 and 2 leagues matches, it was a first phase that was marred with off-the-pitch happenings. In Douala, after the Clasico between Union and Dynamo in a regional derby, the encounter ended at the Gendarmerie Brigade due to disagreement in the sharings of gate takings, as Union had a talk of war with Fecafoot on the amount they were supposed to receive. In Bamenda, for the first time, an Elite 1 game was playing at the Young Francis Arena. The encounter didn't come to its logical end as gunshot ended the PWD Bamenda versus Fevazu Elite of Yaoundé prematurely. It was also an Elite 1 first phase that saw club presidents requesting that their bonuses from the government should be paid directly to their bank accounts rather than passing through Fecafoot before getting them, as the Elite 1 and 2 clubs go on a 2 weeks break. Some 12 clubs out of the 35 in the Elite 1 and 2 championship have written to the different sponsors saying they will not resume phase 2 if their bonuses for 2022-2023, 2023-2024 and 2024-2025 seasons are not paid, and they also want to know the terms of the contract they had with Fecafoot. The 12 clubs also want that the sharing of gate takings should be reviewed. The clubs also want that bonuses that came as a result of Cameroon's participation at the Qatar World Cup to be shared. As the first phase of the league ended this weekend, Colombo of Jar and Lobo were the honorary champions with 10 victories, 4 drawn games, 1 defeat, 20 goals scored and 8 conceded, with 8 clean sheets in 15 matches played, while Young Sports Academy remained in the bottom position with just 7 points after 15 matches played. They won 1 game, lost 10 and drew 4. Yosa conceded 16 goals in the first leg.
Smart Jikangebo ending this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. Unfortunately for us, won't be able to have talking point tonight, but tomorrow, God willing, we'll be back with another fresh edition of the news. See you tomorrow, same time. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye for now.